accepting it. Denial, I think, is the healthiest thing to do.
These beautiful things that
I took all of the songs off my Spotify page.
When Austin and Ally aired its final episode in January 2016, many fans assumed Laura Marano would keep climbing the Disney ladder. Maybe jump into another series or join a touring lineup like so many other Disney stars. And we all know how much Disney loves to work their stars for everything they're worth. From the sitcoms, to the movie deals, to the chart-topping music careers, and don't forget the merch. Many Disney Channel stars are expected to hit the ground running once their series ends. Think of Miley Cyrus in the Best of Both Worlds tour, or even Selena Gomez with The Scene. There was even the Camp Rock tour with Demi Lovato and the Jonas Brothers. And that pipeline from screen to stage is practically Disney's trademark. So naturally fans expected Laura Marano to follow that same path. Another series, a major label album, or even a sold-out tour, but that never happened. In fact, after Austin and Ally wrapped, it seemed like Laura just disappeared. Okay, so remember Ally from Austin and Ally? She was supposed to be Disney's next big star, but while Ross Lynch went full Pop Prince with R5 and Teen Beach Movie, and by the way, I love Teen Beach Movie, Laura Marano kind of just disappeared. Or did she? Let's unpack how one of Disney's brightest stars left the spotlight and why she might be better because of it. Hey guys, I'm Kat. Welcome to my channel where I will be talking about deep dives, pop culture, commentary, and a little bit of drama here and there. Now this is my very first YouTube video, so I really would appreciate all of your support, and if you like it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Also, if you like my hair, give me a thumbs up. Now, if you don't know who Laura Marano is, she's most well known for playing the lead role in Disney Channel's Austin and Ally, which was a show about the relationship between two very different musicians. One extroverted and fun-loving singer and instrumentalist, Austin Moon, and an introverted and awkward songwriter, Ally Dawson, who is also a singer but has a very bad case of stage fright.
No, I have stage fright.
What if they turn off all the cameras and everyone in the audience goes like this?
No way, I can't do this.
No, it's really easy. Just go left and then right. Left.
So before she was Ally Dawson, before the Disney fame and the record deals, the red carpets, or the Netflix rom-coms, Laura Marano was just a theater kid from Los Angeles with a dream and a piano. Laura Mary Marano was born on November 29, 1995 in Los Angeles, California. And she was born into a family who understood the world of performance and creativity. Her mother, Ellen Marano, was actually an actress in her past, and she later opened the Agora Children's Theater, which is a small but passionate acting school in California. And it was there, surrounded by other young performers and stagecraft, that Laura's passion for acting truly began to form. And while Laura's dad, Damiano Marano, was a college professor, her older sister, Vanessa Marano, who's actually most well known for playing the lead role in the show Switched at Birth as the character Bae, was already stepping into the acting world. So for Laura, the industry wasn't really distant or unreachable, it was just a part of home. By the time she was just 5 years old, Laura was already auditioning professionally. Her earliest credits include a mix of commercials, voiceover work, and small guest roles on series like Without a Trace, Joan of Arcadia, and Ghost Whisperer. Her first on-screen appearance was actually a commercial for JCPenney when she was just 5 years old, where she got her first real taste of what it's like to be on set. And something I actually didn't know, Laura was actually one of the original 5 classmates in the hit show Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, which aired in, I think, 2007. Laura had also appeared in several episodes of the Sarah Silverman program. She was only supposed to be in the pilot episode as the child version of Sarah, but was so popular that she was actually brought back. But here's what really sets Laura apart. While many child actors dive headfirst into Hollywood with no safety net, Laura's family made a very conscious choice to keep her grounded. She attended traditional public school and had a tight-knit group of friends outside of the industry and was encouraged to pursue education with the same focus she gave her acting career.
So aside from Austin and Allie, you are busy, you're going to school. What have you been doing during the hiatus, during the time off from the show?
I'm going to be taking the SAT pretty soon. So
I love that.
It's May 4th time. Woo! Party!
That balance would become one of her defining traits. In the years that followed, Laura kept booking guest spots, refining her craft, and even dipped into more dramatic material, like her role in the movie Superbad and an arc on the Showtime series Dexter, where she played the young version of a central character.
Well, they died. I know, but how?
But it was in 2011, at the age of 15, that Laura got the call that would change everything. After a very competitive audition process, she was cast as Allie Dawson in the new Disney Channel series Austin and Allie, a quirky music-filled sitcom about two teens who form an unlikely partnership in the pursuit of musical stardom. Set in a Miami music store called the Sonic Boom, the show followed Austin Moon, a spontaneous, confident singer who becomes famous overnight after performing a song secretly written by Allie Dawson, a brilliant but shy songwriter. The two form an unlikely duo, blending performance with partnership and growing not only as artists but as people. Laura's portrayal of Allie Dawson was more than just a character. In many ways, it was a reflection of herself. She was thoughtful, a little awkward, and absolutely overflowing with talent. And for millions of viewers, she was instantly relatable. Allie wasn't perfect, and that's exactly what made her real.
Hold my hand. We'll jump together.
The world is so much brighter than this.
I'm so similar to Allie. It's kind of ridiculous. But, you know, Allie and I both write songs. We both are goody two-shoes. We both love school. It's crazy. When the breakdown came up, my mom and I looked at each other and we're like, is this my life? Like, what's going on right now?
The show was an instant hit. Laura's awkward and shy character was the perfect foil to Ross Lynch's confident and outgoing Austin. But off-screen, Laura was the real deal. She could sing, she could write, and she wasn't just playing a songwriter, but she actually was one. Austin and Allie was a part of Disney's 2010s era alongside other popular Disney shows like Ant Farm, So Random, and Jessie. None of which I was really into. I personally always thought Austin and Allie was a little bit overrated, but it was funny at times compared to the others. Don't come for me. Austin and Allie stood out as one of Disney Channel's most successful shows during its run from 2011 to 2016. They even had a crossover episode with the popular show Jessie called Austin and Allie All-Star New Year, which garnered around 4.8 million views. Which is less than previous popular Disney show crossover episodes with the previous Disney era with Sweet Life on Deck, Hannah Montana, Wizards of Waverly Place, but for this new era of shows Disney was rolling out, it was among the most successful. At the center of the show were four young stars: Laura Marano as Allie, Ross Lynch as Austin, Rainey Rodriguez as Trish, and Callum Worthy as Dez. Off-screen, their chemistry was just as strong. Laura and Ross developed a genuine friendship full of playful banter and mutual respect. While many fans endlessly speculated about a possible real-life romance between them, and I was one of those fans, by the way, especially during the height of the Aurora ship, but both Laura and Ross consistently kept things professional and fun. They respected each other's boundaries, and that balance helped make their on-screen romance feel authentic without ever becoming forced. In interviews, Laura often described the cast as a second family.
Bittersweet. This is like my family, so it's very, very sad.
And that shows in the final product. The comedic timing between Callum and Rainey, the natural rhythm of the scenes, the little ad-libs, none of it felt like the typical cheesy Disney shows. There was heart in the show, and Laura was at the center of it. But make no mistake, Disney was a machine. A well-oiled, tightly controlled, family-friendly machine. And for all its glitz, working on Austin and Allie was still a high-pressure environment. Shooting schedules were demanding, privacy was rare, and for a teenager juggling fame, academics, and personal growth, it could be overwhelming. Still, Laura never lost sight of her values. She actually stayed in public school through much of the show's run, which is pretty impressive. She's actually one of the only Disney stars to do so, and consistently stayed grounded with the support of her parents and her sister Vanessa. Fame never seemed to warp her. If anything, it kind of just made her more determined to protect her authenticity. Now, behind the scenes though, Laura was more than just an actress hitting her marks. She was already thinking like a true creative. She contributed to the songwriting on the show, learned the ins and outs of music production, and developed a deeper love for live performance, skills that would become critical when she stepped into the music industry later. But while the world saw a confident Disney star, Laura herself was beginning to wrestle with bigger questions. Who was she outside of the Disney machine? What kind of music did she really want to make? And how do you grow up and grow out of the mouse house? Austin and Ally ran from 2011 to 2016, spanning 4 seasons, 87 episodes, and a fan base that stretched far beyond what Disney initially expected. The show earned multiple Teen Choice and Kids' Choice Awards, and both Laura and Ross became global teen icons. The series finale aired on January 10, 2016, and it was bittersweet. For fans, it was the end of an era, but for Laura, it was the start of a new chapter and one that wouldn't come easy. Because stepping out of the Disney spotlight and into the real world of the music industry is where things get complicated. Just a few months after Austin and Ally ended, Laura signed a major record deal with Big Machine Records, the label best known at the time for launching Taylor Swift into stardom. So this was a really big deal. To outsiders, this looked like the perfect move. A promising young artist with a built-in fan base paired with a label that knew how to handle young female pop stars. In 2016, she released her debut single under the label Boombox, a bubblegum pop track that leaned heavily into the fun, upbeat Disney persona she was trying so hard to evolve past. The music video featured Vine star Kenan Thompson and racked up millions of views quickly. It was catchy and it was clean, and it was also polished, but it wasn't really her. Her second single, La La, followed the same formula: bright, radio-friendly, and safe. And behind the scenes, Laura was starting to feel the pressure. Creative control was very limited, and she had a voice, not just vocally, but artistically, and it wasn't being heard.
And it was so frustrating, and I was kind of like, when are people gonna see or hear anything that I've done?
Then, in a twist that shocked even her most loyal fans, Laura was quietly dropped from Big Machine in 2017, with little explanation or fanfare. Her album was shelved, her momentum stalled, and for a moment, it looked like her music career might end before it even began.
With this one, let's figure it out, and we had a date and everything, and then again, it kind of fell through. And so by the end of the process, I had paid for an album, and I wasn't able to really release it in the way that I wanted to, especially with the past 2 singles.
And it was reported that she actually signed with Warner Bros. Records in 2017, but it seemed like the team that signed her actually left the label, so she was kind of automatically dropped.
And so the same people who signed me weren't part of the company anymore. Again, I really do feel like everything happens for a reason, but I always wonder, like, okay, if I didn't have those 2 movies and I went straight into recording, what difference would have been, and what.
But this is where Laura's story gets interesting, because instead of giving up or fading away like many stars previous to her, she doubled down and made the bold choice to go independent.
For my fans, and we have to release for my fans, in a very kind of scary decision, but exciting. It really feels right, but we've decided to go independent. Realizing it's a lot more work.
In 2018, Laura launched her own label, Flip Phone Records, a nod to the early 2000s era that she grew up in. It wasn't flashy, and it wasn't built on millions of dollars in marketing. It was just her team, and her creative vision.
Like, I'm finally doing it. I'm in control, and I'm so excited for you guys to hear this music, and I want to thank you so much.
Her first independent EP, titled Me, dropped in March 2019, and for the first time, fans heard Laura. Unfiltered, emotional, and raw. Songs like FEOU, which was pretty good in my opinion, and Let Me Cry tackled real relationships, vulnerability, heartbreak, which was far from the glossy label-approved singles from her past. She followed it up with You in 2020, a companion EP exploring the same stories but from a different perspective. And in 2023, she released I May Be an Actress But I Can't Fake How I Feel, which was a deeply introspective and artistically bold album that cemented her place as a serious genre-blending artist. Critics praised her storytelling, and fans praised her courage. And while her music didn't always dominate the charts, Laura had achieved something much more rare. She had found her voice. And perhaps more importantly, she reclaimed her identity. No longer Disney's girl next door, no longer a label's product, just Laura, independent, evolving, and in control. But music was only half of the story. While she was building her own sound from the ground up, Laura was also making surprising moves in the world of film. Not as a former teen star, but as an indie darling in the making. While Laura was rebuilding her music career, she was also doing something many Disney alumni openly struggle with, which is transitioning into more adult acting roles without losing their core identity. And she didn't take the obvious route. So, no shocking tabloid reinvention, no controversial roles designed to shed her Disney image. Instead, Laura leaned into what she always done best, which is telling stories with the heart. But this time, they were hers. Her first major post-Disney splash came in 2019 when she starred opposite Noah Centineo in the Netflix romantic comedy The Perfect Date. The movie was a hit, riding the wave of Netflix's teen rom-com boom, following To All the Boys I've Loved Before. Laura played Celia Lieberman, the witty, sharp, no-nonsense love interest who challenges Noah's character to be more than just a pretty face. Critics praised Laura for her grounded, refreshing take on the character. She wasn't just the typical rom-com lead. She had something different about her. She had sarcasm, she had depth, and it worked. But Laura didn't stop there. Over the next few years, she pivoted toward more nuanced roles in both mainstream and indie films. She starred in Saving Zoe, a dark teen drama based on the novel by Alison Noel. The story tackled difficult themes like grief, trauma, and exploitation. And Laura didn't just act in it, she actually produced it. At just the age of 23, Laura stepped behind the camera for the first time. Saving Zoe was a family affair. She co-starred alongside her sister Vanessa Marano, and together they brought a deeply personal and intense project to life. It wasn't an easy watch, and that was the point. Laura wanted to use her platform to tell stories that mattered, even if they made people uncomfortable. From there, she started building a resume that straddled two worlds, indie credibility and commercial appeal. Films like The War with Grandpa, The Royal Treatment, and Choose Love showed her range, and each time she leveled up. What's most impressive is how intentional she's been. Laura didn't chase fame, she chased creative control. Whether she was stepping into the role of a pop star trying to heal or a grieving sister confronting the truth, she made sure the roles reflected who she was and who she was becoming. From Disney to Netflix, from Big Machine to Flip Phone Records, from sitcoms to serious cinema, Laura Marano has done something so rare. She's rewritten the narrative one choice at a time. She could have faded, she could have flamed out, but instead she stayed true to her voice, to her values, and to the people who believed in her. So where is Laura Marano now? After nearly 2 decades in the entertainment industry, she's no longer just the girl who played Allie Dawson. She's no longer just the Disney alum with a shelved album. Today she stands as a creative force, fiercely independent, unapologetically honest, and more in control of her career than ever before. And on the music front, she's released several independent EPs and singles, including her 2023 album I May Be an Actress But I Can't Fake How I Feel, an introspective and emotionally charged body of work that explores heartbreak, healing, and the complex layers of her identity. And when she sings, it's not just performing, she's telling you who she really is, vulnerable, imperfect, and human. In film, she continues to choose roles that challenge and inspire. From rom-com leads to indie heartbreakers, from executive producer to lead actress, Laura Marano is quietly becoming a multi-dimensional powerhouse in Hollywood on her own terms. She's spoken openly about anxiety, about burnout, about the pressure to stay relevant in an industry that constantly tries to define you before you even know who you are. And through it all, she's chosen transparency over perfection and authenticity over approval. And that's the real legacy she's building. Not just as a child star who made it out intact, not just an actress who can cry on cue, and not just a singer with a sweet voice, but as a young woman who learned to fight for herself in the boardrooms, in the studio, and on screen. In a world that rewards conformity, Laura Marano has carved out space for sincerity. Her story isn't finished, it's not even close. She's still writing, still singing, still growing, and maybe that's the most inspiring part. She's not trying to be a legend, she's just trying to be real. So this isn't the end of her story, it's only Act 2. Alright guys, so that is the end of my video. If I left out any important details or anything, go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Let me know how I did and what you think. Give me all your tips and tricks. And we'll see you next time.